We have the item when the item comes back. We have a whole new stand over here for contraption to record share. Okay.
Camera was too full fast.
Come on. Come on, Oslo.
Off the cash out.
Come on, Oslo. Baisa, I think we're 12 lines down from top of the Amid. Shkiach Baisa, we're holding on to the Chazar, although the notice went out late. I had my kavanah was to send it out every Shabbos. Fortunately, things got a little hectic. Yeah. Come on.
What do you mean?
I don't know if all of us would have seen that.
Come on, Oslo. Yeah, so yeah, like Rami says, something tells me not the Olam would have necessarily responded to that so well in Erev Shabbos anyhow.
Come on, the phone should mute themselves.
Okay, Rabbi say, let's go. Come on, Oslo, ha de Amar Rav Huna Amar Rav. Okay, Rabbi say, let's go on over here. Rabbi say, hold cheshbon here. We have a machlekes, Rabbanan, and Rabbi Huda. Rabbi say, just listen closely. I want to try to do without the questions, only just because for the sake of clarity of this sugya. Let's get through this. Let's go through the Heilige Gemara. Come on, Oslo, Hada, Amar Rav Huna, Amar Rav. Remember, Rabbi say we have three opinions in the Gemara. What is the machlekes? Right, we have three opinions in the Gemara. What's the machlekes? Rabbanan and Rabbi Huda. Gavaldik. The three opinions in the machlekes. And there are three opinions as to why does a sukkah have to be lower than 20 amas according to the Tanna Kama? Now we're trying to understand what differences can play out with that machlekes. And we have a statement now in the name of Kaman Ozla, according to whose opinion does it go? Ha de Amar Rav Huna Amar Rav. Rav Huna, who said the name of Rav machlekes, the machlekes between the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Huda. The machlekes between the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Huda, b'she'ein ba ela arba amos ela arba amos. We only have 4 amos by 4 amos in your sukkah. Aval yesh ba yosem arba amos ela arba amos. But if you do have more than 4 amos by 4 amos in your sukkah, afilu ma'ala me'esrim amma, even if your sukkah were to go higher than 20 amos, kisheira, it's kosher. Who can hold like that? Who would hold that if your sukkah is wider than 4 amos by 4 amos, then it's kosher? Says the Gemara. Come on. The Gemara asks, question mark, like who? Kirab Zera. That's going like Rab Zera. Rab Zera was the middle opinion and tzel. His reason was because of shade. The Omar, he says that a sukkah higher than 20 is possible, mishum tzel. Who? The Omar, he says the problem is mishum tzelhu, because you don't have shade. Kama. However, the kivan de Revicha, since this sukkah is wide, it goes more than 4 amos, as we're explaining. Ikat tzel sukkah, you have the shade of the sukkah, and the Rabbanan would agree. Even if it's higher than 20 amos. Again, if the sukkah goes more than 4 amos, the Rabban would agree that you could go higher than 20 amos.
Because at least one point during the day, the shade will be coming from the...
Right.
We don't even need that. It's
No,
a huge
most
circle.
Right. So let me just say one point I should mention.
No.
You write on the side, it's a taisus, but it's important to know that we go in proportion. As much as you expand the sukkah, that's how high you could go. And we work with 20 amos is good. 20 amos is good for a 4 amos sukkah.
So if you go 8
So it's a
amos,
ratio
you go
of
40
1 to 5. For every 1 amma that you expand, you can go 5 amos high. So you're chapnas, Rabbi Yehuda? Because we're saying right now.
I'm not happy how 20, more than 20 amma, how's that question? I thought the whole time we're saying the local shit.
Because we're saying right now that the machlekes, why do the Chachamim hold it's not good, is because it doesn't have 4 amos. But if it has 4 amos, then it's kasher. That's what we just said, right? If it's more than 4 amos, then it's kasher higher than 20.
Right, okay.
Who could that work like? If you go more than 20 amos, if you go more than 4 amos, remember we have 3 reasons. Either you have to know, or tzel, or you have to be temporary. If you go more than 4 amos, does that mean all of a sudden now I see the schach? I know? No. Does that mean it's more temporary? If it's more than 4 amos? For sure not. Right? So, right? So the only reason, the only one of the 3 reasons that this Gemara could work is that if it's more than 4 amos, achshav, there's more tzel. You see, because the schach is wider. If it's wider, you're going to be sitting in the tzel of the schach.
But then we learned that the wood, if the wood goes higher up, then what happens is it becomes more. You have to make it more keva. You got to make it more thicker. And that's why we said we can't do that, right?
That was only one reason.
That was Rava.
That was Rava. So it can't work according to Rava. It's not. That's why it's not going to go like Rava. It goes only like Reb Zera. The Gemara says. Reb Zera says that the problem is cell, is shade. But if it's wider than 4 amos. If it's wider than 4 amos, you can have much more shade now from the schach. So if it's more than 4 amos, you can go higher than 20 because you're going to have the shade. Ivanta? Gavaldik. So just one more time.
Write it down, Yehuda.
Come on, Oslo. I'm reading that one more time. Come on, Oslo. According to who does it go? Hod Amrav Huna Amarav. That Rav Huna said in the name of Rab Machlokes, the Machlokes between the Tanakama and Rabbi Yehuda about a sukkah higher than 20 amos is only b'she'ein ba ela arba amos al arba amos. Avol yesh ba, but if it has yosem arba amos al arba amos, if it has more than 4 amos by 4 amos, afilu ma'ala me'esrim amma, even if it's higher than 20 amos, kesheira. Who could that work like? Which one of the 3 opinions would approve of this sukkah? Come on, Reb Zera. This has to work according to Reb Zera. The Omar, he says, Mishum Sel. The problem is you need shade. Who? Mishum Sel, who? Kama. The Kivin the Richa, since the sukkah is wide, Ikat Sel sukkah. You have the shade of the sukkah. Period. Come on, also the Gemara goes on. This is the third time the Gemara tries to understand or to ask whose opinion this follows. Come on, Azla. According to who does this Gemara follow? Hold Rav Chanan bar Rabba. This Rav Chanan bar Rabba says, Amar Rav, in the name of Rav. Machlokes, the Machlokes Tanakam and Yehuda, b'she'ene machzekes. If the sukkah cannot hold, Ella, k'dei roishei, rubai v'shulchanai. The whole Machlokes higher than 20 is only about a sukkah that cannot hold Roishay Rubai, Roishay your head, Rubai most of your body, V'shulchan on your table. That, yeah, they cannot fit. That is a sukkah right on top of that, 7 by 7 tvachim. A sukkah that could hold your head, your body, and your table is a sukkah that's 7 by 7 tvachim.
Very small table.
Yes. Ava machzekas yoser mechdei roishay ruba v'shulchanai. But if your sukkah can hold more than this, a little more than this, like 8 tvachim, a little more ava machzekas yoser. If your sukkah can hold yoser more, mechdei roishay ruba v'shulchanai, more than your head, your body, and right, it's more than zayin and zayin. It'll be, let's say, 8 by 8. Even if you go higher than 20 amas kasheira, it's kosher. Come on. Who could that be going like? The Gemara answers, the loik echad. That's not going like anybody. Why? Because if you go a drop wider than 7, you don't get a lot more shade.
You think it's not 4 amas.
Not 4 amas. 7 tvachim. It's less than 4 amas.
I'm saying it has to be between.
Yes.
7 and 4.
We mean exactly. We mean a little bit more than 7 tvachim. So if you go a little more than 7 tvachim, do you have a lot more shade? No, it's a drop more. It's 8 tvachim. It's this much more. How much more shade? That's one. Number 2, it's not more noticeable the schach because it's a drop bigger. If you make a sukkah this much bigger, is it more noticeable the schach? For sure not. I'm going to look up at the schach because it's this much bigger. Do I get much more shade? A significant amount of shade? No. And also, does it become more arai? No, certainly not. If it wasn't arai till now, I make it a little bigger. It's not becoming arai. So this cannot this doesn't fit according to any one of those opinions. Is it good, Rabbi Isai? Is it clear? This cannot be any one of the opinions.
So it doesn't mean that they don't hold that would be kosher.
Well, no, they wouldn't. It wouldn't be kosher according to them.
Meaning,
Because it doesn't
I'm
fit.
saying if it was under 20 ounces.
If it's under 20 amps, it doesn't mean they can't hold of this.
Right.
You're right.
So what's the Gemara trying to just
Who would approve of a sukkah that's 8 tvachim and higher than 20 amps?
So that's what, okay.
Right. And this won't work according to anybody. Okay. Loik echad. This won't work according to anybody. Okay. Now Rashi does not understand what difference does it make if his sukkah is less than 7 or more than 7. He can't understand what it could be. What could they be? What could this argument be based on?
What was the shiloh?
It's not what's the shiloh? It's not based on sell, like we said, because it's not going to make a difference. It's not based on temporary, because that's also not going to be different. And it's not based on seeing the schach, because this won't make a difference. So what could this whole thing be based on? Whether it's 7, it's not good. But 7.5 or 8, also you could go higher. So Taisus just want to say, Taisus says that there's a separate reason. What's that separate reason? Called a lul shulchan goyim, a chicken coop. And a chicken coop is not an inhabitable. If something is the size of a chicken coop, it's not inhabitable. You don't live in a tiny set. I don't have the ruler with me. I have to bring it in. But 7 tvachim is such a cramped space. It's not livable. So being that it's not livable, therefore it has the status of a chicken coop. You go a little more than 7 by 7, it's not comfortable, but it's not anymore a chicken coop. So that's why, and that's what it will be based on. Okay.
Not livable is good as long as it's Rosh Rubai.
Right.
Even though it's not livable.
Well, it's not. No, 1 second. If you go 7 by 7, that's already it's out of the category of a chicken coop.
I thought we were saying anything more than
more than that. I'm sorry, more.
7 out of 7, which we're saying is kosher.
Right.
Under 20 is kosher.
Yes.
For everyone.
Yes.
That is a chicken coop. Yet we're saying that it's kosher because it's Rosh Rubai.
Okay, Kavaldik Akasha. This is all discussed. I don't want to get into it because this is a whole topic. Yeah. This the Lul Shulchan is okay. 1 second. Bishleima de Rabbi Yeshua.
What's Rashi wondering? That's why we don't know the Tana.
Right. Like a
whatever svara is, that's
right. Rashi doesn't. This says I can't think of any svara. Says the Gemara. Bishleima Rabbi. What? A chicken coop is an area that's 7 by 7 tvachim. It's like and it's so cramped that it's not called a livable space. So it wouldn't be good for a sukkah because it's not. It's too uncomfortable. So it doesn't have the shame of a diva, of a place of a living space.
So it would be the machlekes in the Mishnah.
So machlekes would be that if you get out of a chicken coop, then you can go higher.
Is that good enough?
Is that good enough? Right. If you get now, it gets into like it's very hard to understand how that helps. That's why there's a lot of discussion on that. Bishleima de Rabbi Yeshua. So look at the Gemara does right now. Bishleima de Rabbi Yeshua. Remember, Rabbi Yeshua says what Rabbi Yeshua says about the walls going up. Okay.
The machlekes is dafka b'sheim hagifs.
Excuse me. Right. Bishleima de Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua said the whole machlekes is if the walls don't reach the schach. So Pliga he argues ad Rav Huna Rav Chanan bar Abba. He's arguing on Rav Huna and Rav Chanan bar Abba. There's a fundamental difference. They must hold up different reasons, right? Rabbi Yoshia has to hold of a different opinion than Rav Huna and Rav Chanan bar Abba, right? Right? Why the inu? Because they give the inu because they. That's Rav Huna and Rav Chanan bar Abba. Kayovi shiura b'mishcha. They give a shear, a size to the length. V'iyu loy kayav shiura b'mishcha. And who's he? Rabbi Yoshia doesn't give any size to the length.
What is it they're arguing about?
They must be holding up different opinions.
In regards to
this machlekes. They have to listen, meaning that Rabbi Yeshua, who holds that the schach has to reach the walls, he must hold like Rabbi Zera.
Above 20 it has to.
Above 20, right? Above 20. He must hold like Rabbi Zera. Meaning you can't put Rabbi Yeshua under the same opinion as Rav Chanan or Rabbi Bar Huna. Hold on, let me read the Gemara and wait in the Gemara. Rabbi Eli, you with us? Yeah. Yeah. So Bishlam Rabbi Yeshua, who held that the Machlekes is about if the walls reach the Machlekes is only about if the walls reach the Schach. He must be arguing on Rav Huna and Rav Chanah. Why? The inu kayavi shura b'mishcha, because they give a size to the length of the sukkah. That's what they say. The sukkah has to be a certain size.
Meaning they were saying the machlekes is about size.
Exactly. They were saying the whole machlekes is about size. But Rav Yeshua, like a yav shura b'mishcha, he doesn't give a size. He doesn't say the machlekes is about a size of the sukkah. Good.
As long as the Magias.
Right, as long as as long as the walls reach the schach.
Or if they're not.
Right. Ela Rav Huna, Rav Chanan bar Rabba, Rav Huna and Rav Chanan bar Rabba. One of them says Rav Huna says 4 amos, and Rav Chanan bar Rabba says 7 tvachim. Nema, let's say. They're only arguing as to what makes a kosher sukkah. But they both agree that if you have a kosher sukkah, you can go higher than 20 amas. Maybe they both agree to one opinion. We're not sure whose opinion. But maybe they both hold of one reason in the problem. Maybe they both say there's one problem to a sukkah under 20. Right? That you don't have a kosher sukkah. That's the problem. But if you have the right a certain shear, you could go above 20. Maybe their whole reason is based on the size of a sukkah. We don't know exactly what the reason would be. But their whole reason why a sukkah is not good is because it doesn't have the right shear. But Rabbi Bar Chana and Huna are arguing, and they both agree. Listen to this, Rabbi Say. They both agree to an opinion that if your sukkah has the right shear, you could go higher than 20 amas.
Nothing to do with
What does the beard have to
shade
do
or
with it?
anything.
Exactly. It's not tied to shade. We don't know exactly what it's tied to. They both agree. They both hold that you need a certain shear in the sukkah, right?
So
Right?
The Kashan, how could you say that Abzer is the Tana of the other Mishnah if it's not Talia in shade? Like you
Well,
said?
we because we want to put Rabbi Bar Chana and Rav Huna in one. We want to say that why do you have to make it that all three that they're holding up two separate opinions? Maybe they both have a common reason why the sukkah is not good. Maybe the whole reason why the sukkah is not good is because it doesn't meet a certain size requirement.
So we're talking specifically about sukkahs that are over 20 amas right now.
Yes.
Okay.
A sukkah is not good above 20 because it doesn't meet a certain size
But
requirement.
that would mean even a sukkah under 20 wouldn't be good. If it doesn't meet that requirement. It
Under
doesn't meet
20
the extra sukkah.
Under 20,
Under
If
20
you
is
don't
a
have
good
an extra
requirement.
sukkah under 20,
under
it's not
20,
either good.
but under 20 you have everything.
Not if you don't have extra sukkah.
The
Machlokes Sukkah shows it as Dafka above 20.
is above 20.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you don't have the right size sukkah, but less than 20, it's not either good, no? Are we talking about exactly extra sukkah or more than that?
1 second. They both hold that the Rabbanan are arguing about a sukkah that's like. Let me say this. I think this will be clear. Rabba Bar Chana and Rav Huna are both saying that the Rabbanan are arguing about a sukkah. This and this and this. That's very good. Listen to this. Very good, Rabbi Rami. That they're arguing about a sukkah that's the exact shear. That's the minimum requirement. Very good. So listen to this, Rabbi Sai. Rabbi Bar Chana and Rav Huna are arguing about a sukkah that's the minimum shear sukkah. But the Rabbanan, again, they both hold that the Rabbanan are arguing, what's the minimum shear sukkah? Once you go above that minimum shear, then you can go much higher. I want to hear that. Ramey, you hear that? Rabbi Bar Chana and Rav Huna are arguing. They say that the Rabbanan are arguing. About a sukkah that's the exact shear. But if you go drop bigger than that shear, you can go higher than 20. Then it's going to be good. Now we're not sure why. Is it because you get more shade? Is it because now you have a better awareness? That's not nageya. But they both say that the machlekes, the Rabbanan are arguing on Yehuda by a sukkah that's the minimum shear. The machlekes is what's that minimum shear? So they're not having a fundamental difference. Is it the problem because of shade? Is the problem because of you don't know? There's whatever reason they hold of, they both agree to the same reason, and that reason is solved when your sukkah is wider than the minimum requirement. Can I read it inside? Can I read it inside for the Ilam? Let me read it inside. That line. Ella Rav Huna Rav Chana Barabba. Nema. Look how we're gonna write a note here. Nema. Let us say the Hechsher Sukkah Kamifagli. They're arguing over what is the required amount for sukkah. Write that down. What is the required amount for the size of the sukkah? And I want to write on the side. This is what I want to write on the side. And you ready for this? Somebody say this is what I'm writing on the side. The machlokes between Rabbanan and Rabbi Yehuda is only when you have the minimum shear sukkah. But if it's wider than the minimum shear, then you could go above 20. Yeah, is that clear? It sounds right?
Yeah.
Is no stark? No, mamish stark?
Stark.
So again, let's write on the side that the machlokes between Rabbanan and Rabbi Yehuda is only when you have a sukkah that's the minimum shear sukkah. You hear that? The machlokes Tanakam, the Rabbanan and Rabbi Yehuda is only when you have a minimum shear sukkah. But if you go a drop wider than that minimum shear sukkah, then everybody would agree that you could go above 20 amos. So Rabbah and Rav Huna are arguing, what is that minimum shear? They're not getting involved in the reason. They say that the machlokes is what's the minimum shear. Rabbah says that it has to be 7 tvachim. Rav Huna says it has to be 4 amos. Is it clear? Okay. I want to stop over here for today, and it's a few lines, but Rabbi say this Amid and a few things we did on this Amid and on the last Amid, which I think are a lot more technical than what we covered in the last parak, and we're gonna iron it out, iron this out till it's clear. And I want tomorrow the Olam should chazah this and see if there's anything that's not clear, and let's go over and call me. Anybody can call me, and I want to go through this because I want this to be clear. This is a technical Gemara, and we're only going to get it if we really iron it out smoothly. Okay?